I remember the night the bookstore stayed open past midnight. It was July of 1998, and everyone in town had been talking about it for weeks. The new Harry Potter book, the second one, Chamber of Secrets. I didn't know much about it yet, except that kids everywhere were obsessed, and our little bookstore, the only one on Main Street, was doing something they'd never done before. A midnight release party. I'd never heard of such a thing. I walked there alone after dinner, when the sky was still holding on to the last bit of purple light. The sidewalk smelled like warm concrete and cut grass. Someone's sprinkler was running 2 houses down. I had my Walkman clipped to my shorts, headphones around my neck, but I wasn't listening to anything. I wanted to hear the night. When I turned the corner onto Main, I saw them. Kids, dozens of them, sitting on the curb outside the bookstore, leaning against the brick wall, some with parents, some without. The big front windows glowed yellow and warm, and inside I could see even more people. Shelves packed with books. A woman behind the counter smiling like she'd been waiting for this her whole life. I felt a little flutter in my chest, the kind you get when something nice is about to happen. Like the first day of summer vacation or finding a good song on the radio. I pushed open the door and a little bell rang above my head. Inside, the air smelled like old paper and coffee. There were stacks of books everywhere, on tables, on the floor, piled up near the register. Green and purple covers, a castle, a kid with glasses. I'd seen the first book around school, but I hadn't read it yet. Now, surrounded by all this, I felt a little spark of curiosity. The bookstore wasn't big. Maybe 4 aisles, a kids section in the back with a rug and beanbags, and a tiny coffee counter that usually only sold day-old muffins. But tonight, it felt cozy and full. It felt nice. I found a spot on the floor near the fantasy section and sat cross-legged, watching. There were kids younger than me flipping through picture books, older kids with backpacks and flannel shirts tied around their waists. A couple of teenagers in the corner were trading Pokemon cards, and I noticed one of them had a Game Boy Color sticking out of their pocket, the purple one. The woman from the counter, Ms. Lindsay, I think her name was walking around with a clipboard, smiling at everyone. She had reading glasses on a beaded chain and kept pushing them up her nose. She looked so happy. Like this night was exactly what she'd hoped for. Outside, the summer heat was finally breaking. Through the window, I could see the streetlights starting to flicker on. Golden light on empty streets. The small town kind of quiet that feels safe. I pulled my knees up to my chest and waited. Something sweet was about to happen. Around 11, Ms. Lindsay stood on a wooden step stool near the register and clapped her hands. Everyone got quiet. She told us that at midnight, we'd all get our books. But first, she wanted to read the first chapter out loud, to all of us, together. The idea made my chest feel warm. Kids started spreading out. Some stayed on the floor, others grabbed the bean bags, a few pulled chairs from the coffee area into a circle. I stayed where I was, leaning back against the shelf. A girl near me was holding a stuffed owl. A boy across the aisle had a can of Surge and a bag of Skittles he kept offering to people. Ms. Lindsay dimmed the overhead lights. Just a little. Enough that the lamps on the tables became the main source of glow. The whole store felt softer, like we were all tucked into something gentle. She opened the book, a personal copy, I think, because it looked worn, and started reading. The hottest day of the summer so far was drawing to a close. I felt a little tug in my chest, not from sadness, just from something nice, something calm and good. I looked around. Every single person was listening. No one was talking. No one was moving. Even the teenagers with the Game Boy had put it down. The bookstore felt peaceful. She read for 20 minutes, maybe longer. Her voice was calm and clear, and every word felt comfortable. I didn't move. I didn't want to. When she got to the end of the first chapter, she closed the book and smiled. "Okay," she said softly. "Now we wait." The clock on the wall said 11:47. Someone turned on a little radio behind the counter, and it played something quiet. Oldies. Doo-wop, maybe. The kind of music that makes you feel cozy and light. The night outside had gone fully dark now, and the window reflected all of us back, just shapes and warm light. It looked sweet. At 11:58, Ms. Lindsay started handing out the books, one by one. She said each kid's name like it mattered. When she got to me, she looked me in the eyes and said, "Enjoy this." I held the book in both hands. It was heavier than I expected. The cover was smooth and cool. I ran my thumb over the title. Around me, kids were already opening theirs, flipping pages, smelling them. One kid pressed the book to their chest with a little smile. I sat back down on the floor, opened to the first page, and started reading under the amber glow of the lamp beside me. Everything felt gentle and right. I don't know what time I left. Maybe 1 in the morning. Maybe later. When I finally stood up, my legs were stiff and my eyes were tired, but I didn't care. I tucked the book under my arm and walked out into the night. A few other kids were still there, sitting on the curb, reading under the streetlights. The air smelled like summer, warm and clean and calm. I walked home slowly, past the closed diner, past the drugstore with the Coca-Cola sign still glowing red, past the houses with their porch lights on, moths circling in lazy loops. When I got home, I didn't go to bed. I sat on my bedroom floor with the lamp on and kept reading. I read until the sky started turning gray, until I heard birds, until my mom knocked on the door and asked if I was okay. I said I was, and I meant it. That night in the bookstore, it stayed with me. Not in a loud way, not in a way I could explain, but I knew even then that it was special. That warm light, those quiet voices, the feeling of being there with other people who loved the same thing. I went back to that bookstore 100 times after that, but it was never quite the same as that first night. Still, every time I walked past the fantasy section, I'd remember the dimmed lights, the voice reading out loud, the kids sitting on the floor holding their breath waiting for midnight. I think about it now, years later, and it still feels close, like I could reach out and touch it. The smell of old paper, the glow of the lamps, the weight of a new book in my hands. That night was sweet. It was simple. It was just a bunch of kids in a bookstore waiting for a story. But it felt good. It felt right. If I could go back, just once, I'd sit in that same spot on the floor. I'd listen to Ms. Lindsay read. I'd feel the warmth of the bookstore around me like a soft blanket, and I'd stay there a little longer. That's the thing about good memories. They don't need to be big. They just need to be warm. Small towns, bookstores that smell like coffee and paper, nights where everyone was gentle and kind. I'll always remember it that way.
Alright, we'll wrap it up here for now, but if you want to keep writing this feeling, make sure you hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and drop a like. I'll see you in the next episode, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming.